What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Friday morning episode of the Daily Juice Podcast with me, Matt Perrault, at Sports Talk Matt, to follow me on Twitter. This podcast being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com. When you guys go to OmahaSteaks.com, use that promo code JUICE in the search bar. That's going to knock off 61% on the Gourmet Grill Package, which is available right now for just $99.99. An enormous amount of food they're going to give you on top of everything else that comes with it. 8 free Omaha Steak Burgers just for using the code JUICE. In the top right-hand corner, OmahaSteaks.com. Use that keyword in the search bar, JUICE, to get that 61% savings. Okay, 0-2 night last night. The Red Sox had a no-hitter through 7 and still lost. Okay, I mean, after going 4-0, hitting 4 straight baseball bets, I was due. Unfortunately, we don't get either bet last night to come in, so it's an 0-2 night where we're down. I think we were down 2.3 units there, so we gave a bit back, which is frustrating and unfortunate, but, you know, we head towards a Friday here. Okay, so I am headed to Maine, like literally right after I get off this podcast, I'm headed to Maine, so tomorrow will be a different look for the podcast, and I'm going to say this, I'm a little bit annoyed, okay? It's pretty late here, and there's nothing going on right now for the bets I want to make. They're not up. So I got one play, and I'm going to tell you about 2 other bets that I'm looking at that I'm going to have to do it in the morning. I'm going to have to get it to the Discord channel and tell you guys what I'm going to bet and do it before I get into Maine. Before I know I'm going to be in Maine tonight. Well, I'll figure out a way to get this down. I don't know. I got to figure out. I'll drive to New Hampshire or something and place it at DraftKings because the first 5s are not out on the plays. And here's the biggest problem is that it looks like it's a Jordan Lyles day for the Royals. Okay, this is a first 5 over play if Jordan Lyles is pitching for the Royals. But according to FanDuel, he's not pitching. It's somebody else. According to ESPN, he is pitching. So which is it? Is it a Jordan Lyles day or not? Remember, I don't bet action, okay? I bet on starting pitchers. I bet on specific starting pitchers. So I'm annoyed with this. I'm annoyed with the Red Sox. I'm annoyed with the Jordan Lyles situation. I can't figure out one way or the other. It's a probable start. If it's Jordan Lyles, we are going to bet the first 5 here, and it should be, okay? I mean, DraftKings doesn't have the game up at all. FanDuel has this game up, and it's the total is 10, okay? Miller against Marsh is what they think it is. If it is Miller against Marsh, I'll reevaluate it. If it's Miller against Lyles, it's probably going to be a 5.5 total in the first 5, and I'm comfortable going ahead and betting the over. I still might bet the over in this game in general just because the Dodgers are a great road over team, but I need to know who's pitching for the Royals before I bet anything because I'm not going to deal with a scratch, okay? I'm not going to deal with betting one thing and then having it turn around and not count. So that's a frustration right there. So I'm watching Dodgers, Royals, need to know who the starting pitcher is going to be for the Royals. If it is Jordan, then we'll probably bet first 5 over. If it's going to be Marsh, we may go and bet the game over and just take over 10. But I don't know yet because I got to know who the starting pitcher is. Some big discrepancy there between the Dodgers and the Royals. Equally, I'm annoyed because I want to bet the first 5 for the Padres and the Reds. Ashcraft against Lugo. Ashcraft has been just bad. I mean, bad. But the bullpens have been okay, and I'm a little bit concerned because the Padres are the worst team to the over this season. They're 47, 30, and 4 to the under. And when you get to the road games for the Padres, they are 22, 14, and 3 to the under on the road. So that concerns me a lot here, and I need to know who the starting pitchers are going to be before I jump in here and who I'm going to bet on. Because I need to see the first 5 number. Total is 9, or I guess no, total is 11, right, in this game? Hold on. Total is 11 in this game with Ashcraft against Lugo, but there's no first 5. So I don't know if I want to go over 11 runs. That's asking a lot. I think I'd just rather get involved with the first 5. But there is no first 5 up right now. So first 5 over for Padres Reds, okay? So I like first 5 over Padres Reds. I like first 5 over for the Royals and the Dodgers, but I need to know what these numbers are, and it's late. It's 10 p.m. Eastern time. Now, this would not matter if I was back in Vegas, okay? If I was in Vegas, it's 7 o'clock. I would just wait for these numbers to populate, and we could bet them, and I could put them out. This is why I could never do this podcast being on the East Coast, because the numbers just do not come out fast enough for a podcast for someone on the East Coast to do this podcast every night. I would literally go insane. It's pissing me off right now. I'm mad right now. I'm annoyed. So it's a frustration when you're trying to make bets and plays, and they're just, especially with baseball, a day-to-day thing. It's football. It's a little different because the odds are out so far in advance. But this is baseball, and you're betting every day, and you're waiting on games to finish. You're waiting on probable starters. You're waiting on the books to populate numbers so you can bet on it. It's just a frustration all the way around. So I'm annoyed. Okay, there's really no other way around this. I'm just annoyed with this, and so the only bet that I'm going to make here is Brewers and the Pirates first 5. The under 4.5 runs is plus 102 at FanDuel. It's minus 132 to the over, okay? I think when you start looking at this Pirates team and their lack of offense, yes, they scored 5 runs yesterday against the Padres, but this Pirates offense just doesn't score. It's remarkable to look at the offense and you're like, man, they've got some decent young bats, but they're just so inconsistent. And I got to be honest, I mean, I liked the way the Beto kid pitched in his last start for the Pirates. Looked pretty darn good. The Pirates, in their series against the Brewers, scored 4, 0, and 2 runs. They lost all 3 games. Now, this is a series back in Pittsburgh. Freddie Peralta going for the Brewers on the road, and he hasn't been great either on the road or at home here, okay? 5.94, 1-4 with a 285 opposing batting average, but this Pirates offense just doesn't really score. So it's going to come down to how many runs do the Brewers score? And Beto, I mean, look, he wasn't bad. He went 5 2/3, 9 hits, 2 earned runs on the road. At home against the Cubs, he went 6, gave up 3 earned runs. So let's go 3-1 with a final here. 3-1 between the Brewers and the Pirates. Got plus 102 on the total. First 5 under 4.5 runs. Brewers and the Pirates at plus 102 at FanDuel. Okay, so we're jumping in on that officially for 1 unit. Waiting on the Reds game and waiting on the Dodgers game and waiting to see what these numbers come up with. I'll have 3 bets. Okay, we'll go back to the 3-bet thing. We'll see what the numbers dictate and who's starting. But, I mean, the Dodgers are playing the Rockies later on tonight. That game hasn't even been started yet, so that's one reason why, I guess. But who's pitching for the Royals against the Dodgers? And then what the number is going to be for the Reds against the Padres with their first 5. I like the over in both those games in the first 5. But I need to see what it's going to be. So it's going to be 2 first 5 overs and 1 first 5 under. But only 1 officially right now until I see the numbers and who's starting pitching for the Royals. So kind of an incomplete podcast today. I apologize. Not the normal way I do it, but just sort of up against it with travel and up against it with the books not wanting to put up numbers, and it's getting late here in Vegas. Or in Boston. I'm not in Vegas. I'm in Boston. So I wish I was in Vegas. It would be easier to do the podcast then. So only 1 bet official, 2 bets to come on the Discord channel, bettingpros.com/chat to make it official. I'll tell you the 3 bets I'll have in play here today on a Friday. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me on Twitter at SportsTalkMatt each and every morning. It is the Daily Juice Podcast being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com.